He was fighting for his life. He fed for his life.
I see it as self-defence. If 3 or 4 guys can come at me, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
He could have been killed.
The Cancian family, loyal to the last. Loyal to Danny Cancian, businessman banged up abroad for killing a man in China.
I'm appalled the way it's all happened, the whole thing.
Danny Cancian's road to a Chinese jail began perfectly innocently with a business trip. Like thousands of other entrepreneurs, he was following his dream to manufacture in China and export to the world.
What have you got for me here?
Well, we've got a shower buddy.
On a TV interview 4 years ago, Danny proudly demonstrates his brainchild, the shower buddy.
It's a portable sliding shower chair made of aluminium, it's stainless steel, and what it does, it slides people safely in and out of showers.
A device inspired by a good turn for his granddad.
The idea actually came about when my granddad had a stroke, and he was like 92 years old, and one of my aunties dropped him in the shower. So I went home in my old garage, and I built a timber one to start with.
Amanda, his wife of 20 years, still has the wooden prototype.
He just started drawing plans and contacted companies to have it made, and that is how he ended up in China.
Foshan, South China, part ancient, picturesque, part modern and industrial, thriving on the economic powerhouse that is China today. Danny's shower buddy was made here.
So what took Danny on this last trip?
Basically just to watch over manufacturing, quality control basically, to make sure everything was 100% perfect before it got sent to the States.
Fantastic place, fantastic people, friendly.
November last year, and Danny had caught up in Foshan with friend and fellow businessman Prakash Patel of Wellington. They were walking into a shopping mall when Danny collided with another man.
Danny, being himself, he's backed away from it and actually gave the guy a very friendly smile.
According to Prak, that chance bump ignited a furious reaction from the other man.
Security came in and held back the guy who was trying to have a fight with Danny.
Danny tried to laugh it off, but that encounter would have deadly consequences.
3 days later, after that event, we were going to a late-night restaurant to have a meal.
With them were 2 local friends.
I had to go to the bathroom, so I excused myself.
What happened next comes straight from Chinese court records, and they show Danny was caught up in a fight he didn't even start. We've used actors to reconstruct the testimony of one of the very group that attacked him.
This witness said the men who clashed with Danny at the shopping mall were dining in the same restaurant. His friend, Luo Jintao, spotted Danny.
Luo Jintao said the bare-headed foreign man was the one who beat them before.
The same witness said Jintao and another man, Wu Li Ming, known as Uncle Li, vowed revenge.
Luo Jintao said to beat the bare-headed guy, and Uncle Li said okay.
That would prove a fatal decision for Wu Li Ming.
2 gentlemen approached Danny after I'd left to go to the WC. The first gentleman that walked to him had ripped his hat off his head. Danny then greeted them again.
Jintao's friend concedes Danny appeared friendly.
The bare-headed foreign man, without his hat on, seemed to shake hands with Luo Jintao to express his friendship. However, Luo Jintao patted on Danny's forehead twice and beat him on the right neck with his fist.
The witness said Wu Li Ming, or Uncle Li, picked up a chair.
Uncle Li took a chair nearby and beat the bare-headed man on his back head from left to right.
There followed a confusing melee of chairs, fists and feet.
Danny in a fight. Is this the Danny you know?
No. No, not at all. He'd never looked for violence like that. You know, been in a foreign country, he just wouldn't. He'd back away. I suppose that's what a normal person would do, defend themselves. You know, he could have been killed.
Danny is not a confrontational person.
To Danny's brother, Tony, any man surrounded by 5 aggressive men would have no choice but to fight.
You've actually got to hit Danny or actually hurt him to get that reaction. And that's what these guys have done. He was sitting having his dinner and they attacked him.
According to the witness, Danny fought back, hitting Wu Li Ming with another chair.
Uncle Lee fell to the ground 2 seconds later. Uncle Lee tried to stand up, but was kicked on the head by the bare-headed man.
And here's where Danny's story differs. He admits he did kick Wu Li Ming, though only to stop the attack, but he denies hitting him with a chair. Danny's mate, Prakash, returned from the toilet to pandemonium.
I saw blood coming out of the back of Danny's head. That definitely set in that this was a serious situation and we needed to get out to safety. Danny collapsed to the floor, which really worried me. He was heavily concussed. His eyes weren't right. His speech was not right. He kept saying to me, "They're trying to kill me."
His assailant, Wu Li Ming, or Uncle Lee, wasn't looking too good either.
I looked at his face. He was semi-conscious. He had a little bit of blood coming out. I think it was the left or the right nostril. I saw 4 gentlemen carrying Wu Li Ming out of the restaurant, one each holding a leg and one each holding the arm. At that point, I really thought this is the wrong thing to do. His head was flopped back.
Given the head injuries, Prakash believes that action may well have made his condition worse. Minutes later, a police car arrived.
The 2 policemen walked straight towards us, Danny and I, without saying any words to us, grabbed our hands by our elbows and escorted us to the vehicle.
Next up, behind bars in China.
I do know that he's in a 8x6 cell with 40 other men laying on a mat.
And was Danny driven by fear he might suffer the same fate as his father?
They taped his hands up behind his back, put him on the bed, and the guy smashed his head with a bat.